Good afternoon, everyone. If you don't know, I'm Matt Greco. I'm the events manager at PSS Life University. And today we are very happy and very pleased to have with us Marcy Simon, who is the director of Striders at the New York Roadrunners Club. And she's going to talk to us about the benefits of walking and other health-related issues for older adults. And you put any questions you have in the chat, and at the end, we're going to try something to allow people to talk if they have questions, because Marcy would really very much like to hear all your questions and comments. So we'll try that at the end. But you can always put anything you have to say in the comments. And with that, I'll hand it over to Marcy.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Matt, for that introduction. I am Marcy Simon, the director of the Striders program. And with me here, I have our intern, Chloe, who is mercifully helping me with the tech part of this presentation. We also will be joined soon by our department head. She is the head of community programs, Celinda Casanova, who has been with the organization for over 20 years and is a wealth of information about Roadrunners. The programs are wonderful community programs, and she will be hopefully glad to chime in for any questions. So without further ado, we will be speaking about our program and the benefits that it offers as well. So Chloe, hit it. We're going to share our screen. Okay, so this is the Striders Walk and Beyond program. And before I even start, I'd like to acknowledge that we work with the Highbridge Center. We have a Striders program there. They are a wonderful, amazing group of Striders that are very active in our programming. They participate in not only walking, but our fitness programming as well. And if you are here, Highbridge in the house, welcome. So we are going to talk about, how did I do there? Too good. Who is New York Roadrunners? What is Striders, and what are the benefits of fitness and walking? Here you see a picture of some of our amazing Striders who attend our events, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So who is New York Roadrunners? Most people know New York Roadrunners as the marathon people. We run the big New York City Marathon. But I think that folks don't really know that we do so much more than just the New York City Marathon. We serve communities across New York City for nearly 70 years with inclusive, accessible running experiences. So we do work in the community mostly with free programming, and that's something that I think a lot of people are not that familiar with. We are a mission-driven nonprofit with the aim of building healthier lives and stronger communities through the power of running, movement, and fitness. And we do serve all ages, genders, abilities, and backgrounds to improve health with 60 adult and youth races, programs, and events. What is the Striders program? So the Striders program began as a very small community of walkers in Harlem, and it blew up and expanded into a 5-borough program. And it has evolved in years, and we've expanded and brought in new components to the program, specifically a fitness program that complements the walking piece. So it is a unique and dynamic approach to older adult fitness, focused on improving attitudes towards walk-run techniques. So I'm sure, I can't see all of you in there, but I'm sure there's some of you in there going, I'm not running. I'm not running. Oh, good. Hi, Celinda. Celinda is here, our department head. So I think that it's very important to say that running is completely optional, and it is absolutely not a necessary piece of our programming. We really, the main component are walking sessions, group walking sessions. And I'll talk a little bit about this later, about how some folks have improved their walking and pacing so much so that they've decided to take a chance on doing the running techniques. But as I said, do not jump out of your chair and run from the room, as we do not expect anybody to run marathons. We also are trying to make fitness more accessible and diverse. We do offer modifications for everybody. We try to be completely inclusive in our programming. One of the best parts of this program is we provide an opportunity to socialize and gather with our peers in a healthy and safe environment. And one of the most important parts of the programming is that we would like to feel that we are helping people to become more to develop self-efficacy. And what do we mean by that? Is that you can function on your own physically and independently without having to ask folks for help, because we are creating programming that really improves mobility, strength, flexibility, coordination, and endurance. And how do we do that? Chloe asks. Celinda knows. So here we have the three components of our sessions. So up here, you're going to see Coach Maria with her walking crew. And we have coach-led walking sessions. So the walking component, we have groups that meet weekly and are facilitated by extremely knowledgeable and excellent coaches. And the other part of the fitness part of the programming is that we now offer fitness sessions as well. So it's a 2-day-a-week program. And as you can see, here's our fitness crew. One of the components of the fitness programming is we do fitness drumming, which is humongously fun. If our hybrid Striders are up in the house, I'm sure you know how much fun that is. You've been participating in it. It's great for coordination. It's great for cardiovascular strength. It's so much fun. And who doesn't like a good pounding every once in a while, right? Okay. And another amazing benefit of this program is that as a Strider, you get access to many for free of our NYRR race events. And like I said, don't run out of the room yet, because many of these events include a walking component where we will do a 1-mile walk, and everyone gathers together from all 5 boroughs to do that. But at this point, because we've seen so much great improvement in our membership, we now have folks doing 5K, the 5K races, which is about 3 miles. Whereas maybe we used to have 40 people who would participate in the events all around. We now have 40 Striders who are run walking the 5K, and at least 70 who are doing our fitness walks, our 1-mile walks. So folks are really into this. They're improving their pacing, and trust me, these events are so much fun, right, Celinda? She knows. I explained how you are our community programs historian. Okay. So the new programming is called the Walk and Beyond curriculum, where we, as I said, we have 1 day a week. We offer centers 1 day a week of the walk and run training and 1 day of a fitness class. So depending on your center schedules, we try to implement the program, to schedule it as conveniently and as best as we can for the programming and for the scheduling at your center. The program is implemented by amazing coaches. I have to say that they're not only well-trained and really understands the older adult population, but they're a lot of fun. They just are a lot of fun and are very caring and loving for that, to the older adult population. The program It's open to all levels and abilities. I mean, you'll notice that everybody is standing and doing activity standing, but we do offer modifications. If you have to do this in a chair or you need support, our coaches are well trained in knowing how to modify these activities so that you are comfortable and can participate. And as I said, part of the program is participating in our celebrations, our races, and also volunteering, which is another great component of the program. As you know, we do run the New York City Marathon, and our Striders are big and out there. They're out and loud at the marathon, volunteering at certain mileages, depending on where they're located. And they just have an absolute blast doing that. We also participate in the Parade of Nations in the one of the events that are sponsored before the marathon, and the Striders get to do their own march in the marathon parade, which is beyond fun. You also get a bunch of, cowbells and twirlers. we hand those out. We also, as you see in the pictures, anybody who's a Strider and participates regularly gets a Striders t-shirt, a cap, and we also have race day swag. So I know everybody who doesn't love good swag. I mean, that's just a given. Okay, so what are the benefits? What are the benefits of the older adult fitness and walking sessions? I think everybody probably on this call knows what the benefits of walking and fitness are. The benefits of walking, I think I've written some of this down. Walking, of course, it's free, and the only needs you have are your own 2 feet and some willingness to get up and move. And I think that, walking, and when you're walking with a group, it's not only beneficial physically, but you have that social aspect of being able to be accountable to a group. You want, once, and Matt was saying this too, that it's such an important part of his day. And once you make it a habit, you feel, oh my God, my group, I don't want to do this today. I don't feel like it, but your group is out there, they're waiting for you, and you're just going to make yourself do it anyway. And after you do it, you know how much better you feel. It increases mobility, strength. Also, as I said before, any type of fitness, walking, anything that you do to improve your mobility will help you to maintain your independence. So, mobility and walking. Walking improves mobility and cardiovascular health. We all know that. Better stability. We all know balance sometimes gets tricky as we get older. It also prevents lower back pain, injury. It negates some of the health risks that we face as older adults. And as you know, especially for, women, as we get older, it becomes a little bit more challenging. I know it has for me to maintain a healthy weight. And these types of activities, and I'm not trying to be a swimsuit model anymore at this point in my career, nor am I was a dancer, nor do I know I'm going back to what I looked like when I was Chloe's age. This is not happening. But we want to be able to maintain as much of a healthy weight as possible. Fitness wise, you want to be fit where you're at to keep your joints stress-free, mobile. Walking is such a great activity as well, because I was just thinking about this today when I got up out of bed and I felt I was creaking it pretty badly. I feel that, as I've gotten older, until I really get my body moving and mobilized, there is a lot of that sort of stiffness and soreness in your joints that just unfortunately does happen to not everybody, but many older adults as they age. So walking, unbelievably great for all of that. And the fitness. So here we are again. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is her name is Z, Zahara. And she has her fitness face on here. And this is this is one of our, as I said, we do the fitness drumming in all of our classes. It's not the only component that we do, but it is one of the most fun sort of cardiovascular coordination and agility activities that we do. The fitness programming is, it's, we love it because it's actually dance-based and musical. So it's kind of a lot of fun because we don't sort of just, we're just not chunking it out doing fitness exercises. It's all sort of choreographed so that it's fun, it's musical, it feels like dancing, even though that you're working very hard. We do a lot of agility work. We also, the Striders program is known to come with what we call our bag of tricks. So we bring all of the props that we have. We have multiple bands that we use. We use the fitness drumsticks. We have lots of agility work. We use cones. And you know, we use balloons. It's sort of like a three-ring circus to do all of these activities. So it never gets boring. And we also, some of the work we do is sort of like line dancing across the floor. So anybody who loves to dance and loves music. I mean, I can't vouch for all of my coaches because some of their musical selections are not my fave, but I love my 80s disco and I try to encourage that as much as much. Celinda's laughing, as much as humanly possible, because I like the beats for that. But you know, they do sometimes throw in some contemporary music. All of this work is meant to strengthen your back, your core, the hip muscles. These are the muscles you need to keep yourself ambulating. There's also a mind-body connection because we really do encourage coordination and agility in these classes. Plus, when you have to really think, so sort of the drumming, you really have to pay attention to the rhythm, to the counts. The program is very mind-body oriented. So it's kind of a thinking person's program. And we like to think that that really helps to prevent memory deficits and improves cognitive health. The other thing is that the programming, and let me go back. Chloe showed me how to do this. Excellent, that was good. So some of the activities of daily, we also like to incorporate what we call our activities of daily living in our programming, which is reaching, bending, stretching, rising from a chair, carrying. All of these activities are part of the programming. We sort of, you know, mask it by making it dance-based, but we're actually getting you to do these activities in our fitness programming. Okay, I'm going next, right? This is another very important part of our practice, and that is our balance training. So the balance training, there's a scientific name for it. It's called perturbation training. You really don't have to know that. What it is really is we use, and this is a progressive piece of our training, so we don't ask people to do this right away. We progress them towards this training. It's done with as a partner band work. And so what the purpose of this, so we actually put resistance on our folks. One person anchors down and the other person walks against resistance. And and then walks backward to make sure that they can stabilize themselves. And so what it is the resistance actually pulls people off balance so that they learn how to correct balance during maybe, you know, slips and trips and, you know, God knows there's a strong wind that pulls you backwards. This particular exercise will train everyone, if they participate, to counteract those slips and trips and balance disruptions the more you do it. I mean, just this morning, I was walking to work. I was running to the train and the sun got in my eyes and I took a little, you know, slip and trip off the curb. I'm like, oh, that could have been an issue. But because I do this type of training, I was able to stop myself from going down, planting my face, and embarrassing myself 100 times over on 2nd Avenue. Okay, I've mentioned this quite a bit, but we are very much about this, about about really promoting self-efficacy and the feeling that you can rely on yourself to function during these everyday activities. What we want to promote is that older adults very often are much more capable physically than sometimes programming that is provided may not challenge folks enough. And that's not to say that there's activities for everybody at every level. But we know just from our experiences working with our folks that our folks are so much more capable of what they think they're capable of. And we like to make sure that we promote that and that we encourage that safely, of course, but knowing that, I've heard from folks that have been part of our program that, wow, I was able to reach overhead and grab my stuff off of that horrific, shelf in the airplane where, you always need 40 people to help you. I mean, I've struggled with that myself. It really makes me mad, but I keep trying. I mean, things like that, or being able to reach under your sink, or being able to get down on the floor with your grandkids or your kids. Those are the things that make your quality of life so much better if you can still do those things yourself. And that's part of the philosophy of our programming as well. Here we go. I was ahead of myself. So here we are, changing mentality to reduce fear and to prove you're more capable of sometimes what you think you are. I love this picture. I think this picture just speaks for itself. Right, Celinda? Yes, she agrees. And Chloe. Excellent. Another big piece of this. And Celinda can really, if folks have questions, I would like to, pass it to her about how the community programs have been such an integral part of New York Roadrunners and how they really do support great experiences. She has a wealth of knowledge about all of the community programs, which if we have time, it would be really nice for her to be able to share that. So creating community. This is the greatest thing ever because you're creating this community with like-minded people your own age, people who understand what the challenges of aging are, and you have these shared experiences and these groups that form. It really is kind of, I mean, we have folks that have been together in these groups for, I don't know, 12 years. I mean, Celinda can correct me on this, but they're kind of like family, and it goes beyond just the fitness experiences. They've created their own communities and, they're very sort of beholden to each other. They get each other moving. They, the walking, the exercise becomes so much more fun when you do it in a group. They boost and inspire each other. And there is a bond that develops as they progress with each other and continue to work with each other. Right? Excellent. Okay, so here is the testimonial piece of our program. This is Cheryl Lee. She is from our Rochdale Center, and here she is with her coaches. She's with, on the left, she's with Coach Vicky and Coach Shamari. Those are her fitness coaches. And as you can see, they look very fit. And on the right, she's here with Coach Mitch, who is her walk-run coach. So Cheryl has a great story because Cheryl started out just doing the walking sessions. She's quite fit. She's very active in her community. She's quite beloved by the Rochdale Striders. She's sort of their lead. She's the lead strider of the Rochdale Striders. She does enormous amounts for her community, and for that we praise her all the time. But she decided as she was increasing her pacing and her walking endurance, she decided to start to do a walk-run program. And little by little, Cheryl was making lots of headway there and decided, I think, to first do a 5K. And then as her training progressed, Cheryl decided to run the Brooklyn Half. Now, I can tell you, I work it. I mean, I probably, I'd probably be in a chair after the second mile, but it's a pretty tough race, and Cheryl decided she was going to do it. And she did. She ran her first half marathon, which is 13 point something miles. So Linda can correct me on that. It's 13 point something, but it is quite a distance. And I was there to see her come across the finish line. I was screaming my head off. She was too tired to scream, but I screamed for her. I gave her her medal. And I'm not supposed to say this, but I get such a kick out of it that she actually came in ahead of her coach, Mitch. We tease him about it, but he's very good natured, and he's okay with that. We're all extremely proud of her, and Mitch is an amazing coach. So some of you on this call may know him and know that for a fact. So we couldn't have been more proud of her. And this was her testimony. She is a proud and active and elite New York Roadrunner Strider. It's truly an honor. And she uses the word elite because this is how your staff and organization make us truly feel each week, providing us with such outstanding training and participation in events throughout the year is deeply appreciated. So it's definitely a mutual appreciation society over here. And we have one more final slide. This is Sal, and he's a wonderful strider from one of our Brooklyn sites. And we're going to play his testimonial because I think it's really, really impactful. So Chloe, here we go. Hit it.
If you put your heart on it, you could do anything in life, okay? I used to be a drug addict, and look at me now. I'm 71, I'm in perfect health, and I continue to live a good life, in my opinion, that I wasn't expecting. At least every day I walk at least 10,000 steps. Yesterday I did 27,000, so I'm pretty good on that. That's like 10 miles. This is like a medicine for me that keeps me in shape. My cholesterol, my heart, everything is in good shape because of that, mostly. Let me tell you, this kind of program helped me a lot. Because to be 71 and to feel like this, that's some kind of a miracle.
Excellent. And that is our presentation. So we're going to stop sharing. Chloe's going to help us with that. Thank you. And this is Celinda. I think she came in a little bit late, so she is open to questions as well. We're going to open it up to Q&A. I think there were some chat questions here. Okay.
Well, I can start us off. Thank you, Marcy. That was excellent. That was really great. We do a lot of presentations, and that was definitely one of the best. So really appreciate it. So we do have a lot of centers here today. So how can the centers, if they want to follow up on this, how can they reach out to you?
So we have an application process. They can reach out to me or to any of the team. We will send an application to the site. What we like to do is we like to make sure that the site has appropriate facility for the programming, and also a place close by, usually a park or somewhere safe for us to conduct the walking sessions. Currently, we have so much interest in the program, and we are desperately trying to expand at this point. But the demand has outpaced our capacity at this point. But I see Celinda nodding. I don't want to speak out of turn here, but our ultimate plan is to expand in the future. And it's a simple application process, which we can send to the centers. We have a waiting list. And once we're able to scale up, we send out folks to do a demonstration of the program, an orientation. We make sure that the site is appropriate for the programming. And that's kind of how we do it. We also are very interested in serving communities that don't really have access to this kind of programming. That is a big part of our mission.
Very good. Well, we appreciate that. One more question along those lines. Is there a fee involved for the centers?
This, I should have said this in the beginning, this is free, completely free to participants.
Makes it even more attractive.
Yes, and I think that I saw a question there. Our website, we have a website. It's www.nyrr.org. You can go to our website, go to the Striders program, and you can see all of the places that we offer classes, walks, any of our information about the program is on the website. And so if, it's going to take us a minute or two to get the program scaled out, folks are welcome to join us at Highbridge, of course, and at any of other centers, or we do have walks that are in Central Park and some of the parks up in Harlem. Folks are free to join us up there. But of course, we would love to be able to expand, and we absolutely love our Highbridge folks. So
Yes, and if any are on the line, I'm not sure I see the center.
I think I do see PSS Highbridge there.
Well, there's Highbridge Garden,
Oh, okay, Highbridge Gardens,
which
okay.
is around the corner, but it's a separate.
Okay.
But I'm so glad that they're here, along with
Okay.
the others. So you should be able to talk if you want to. You just have to unmute yourself. So this sounds really great. I'm glad that you're really expanding this. How long is the waiting list at this point?
Oh, boy. Well, recently we've gotten a whole bunch of new applications. It's probably about 25 centers on the waiting list at this point.
Wow. Okay.
That doesn't indicate that they're all eligible to receive the program. It just depends again on the space, their scheduling. We know year to year the scheduling at the centers may shift based on programs coming and going. So it really all depends on a number of factors where we would reprioritize that list as needed.
Right. Okay, very good. Well, one of the things that you mentioned was about the social benefit of being in a walking group. And, that is a big issue for us at PSS. It's isolation is something we're always trying to address. And so it's really great to hear that. I wonder if you could say any more about that.
About the social isolation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Celine, do you want to take that?
Sure, yeah. So we have seen that over time that this program has existed since 2010. And what we found, especially after the pandemic, was that desire. It's the number one desire to stay with the community. So even though we as a program couldn't gather people together, we were, under strict directives from everywhere to we couldn't conduct programming. The Striders themselves were meeting up and conducting their own walks. So that in and of itself and showed us that there was a community, a family formed citywide. And when we were able to start bringing sites back, they came back very quickly because they love each other, but they loved the support that they were getting from the coaches and the guidance and that real, drive to stick to a goal, meet a goal, sense of accomplishment that our program helps to build. But really, we are just facilitating communities that are forming because the Striders really want, and the older adults really have that drive to stay connected to one another.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems such a great way to do it, and it's so simple. And they always say New York is a great walking city, but here you're putting that into action and trying to make that a reality for older adults everywhere. And you don't have to be in Manhattan, right? You can walk anywhere.
Yeah, and the isolation is tough. I mean, I feel it in myself, your kids move away. There's unfortunately, as an older adult, there's, you lose certain things, you lose people. And it does become easier to sort of isolate, especially if you're feeling physical, if you have some, physical issues that are sometimes hard to counteract. So, the isolation does become an issue, but for, the programming is designed so that it's community and group-based. So that is such a great thing to combat the isolation because we keep each other accountable. I think that that really does make a big difference, is that you know your group is waiting for you. Yeah, you know, your hip hurts, your knee hurts, everything hurts. I just want to sit in front of the TV and watch whatever, but my group is meeting at 10 o'clock, I'm going. You know, it's just that sort of, there's that extra push once it becomes a habit. As you said, Matt, you know, it's become so important to you to get out there and do it, but we do it in a group. So there's
Yeah.
strength in numbers here.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.